How do you get noticed after disappearing for decades? That's the strategy chosen by some of the rarest animals on the planet, like the extraordinary mouse deer and the dog with the high-pitched bark. In this video, you'll see rare footage of animals long thought to be extinct. And if you feel that same spark of intrigue and passion for unearthing amazing discoveries, be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's free and will take you on endless, fascinating adventures that will transform your perception of the world. Let's get started. Number 1. The Black Panther. The story of the Black Panther must begin with an explanation of exactly who it is. It's important to understand that it's not a separate, independent species, but rather a term referring to a black leopard or jaguar. In addition to its distinctive black color, its fur can be distinguished by unique spots that are visible up close. However, black panthers are incredibly rare animals, so much so that until recently, no new information had been obtained about them for over 100 years. Recently, in Kenya, scientists discovered a black leopard and managed to take a photograph. Of course, they didn't photograph it manually, but with a sophisticated automatic system. They used high-quality motion sensors, a mirrorless camera, and several flashes. When something passed through the monitored area, the system was activated and took photos. The camera captured other animals, but one night they managed to photograph a real black panther. This work confirmed that black leopards exist in Africa, although they are very rare. Researchers are unsure whether the genetic mutation that causes melanism in these cats is the same as that in the black panthers of Southeast Asia. Number 2. The clouded leopard of Taiwan. Speaking of Southeast Asia, let's talk about the clouded leopard, a member of the cat family considered a very ancient species. Perhaps you didn't know that it has a very rare subspecies called the Taiwan clouded leopard. In its habits and physical structure, it resembled its relatives living in mainland China. It was a relatively small predator, weighing up to 20 kilograms and living in trees. In the first description of the Taiwan clouded leopard, scientists noted its shorter tail, which was about half the size of that of a common clouded leopard. However, this data could never be confirmed, as this subspecies completely disappeared from the face of the Earth. But hope springs from the last straw. People continued searching for this rare leopard and finally found something interesting. After setting up surveillance cameras and reviewing the footage, people were shocked to see the Taiwanese clouded leopard. Although the footage doesn't show it from every angle or for very long, it's better than nothing. Some skeptics continued to claim it was another animal, but most agreed that this subspecies is still alive. Now, more conclusive evidence is needed to rewrite the history books. Number 3. The silver mouse deer. What would result if we crossed a mouse and a deer? Something very similar to the silver mouse deer. This adorable mammal, considered the world's smallest ruminant, resembles a rabbit and weighs up to 5 kilograms. Endangered in Vietnam, it lives exclusively in dense forests. At the end of the 20th century, when technology was objectively worse, scientists managed to contact and study them. But for the past 30 years, the silver mouse deer has remained unheard of, to the point of being included on the list of the world's rarest animals. However, in 2019, researchers managed to find it. They set up camera traps deep in the jungle and after 5 months reviewed the results. The cameras captured images that proved the mouse deer were still alive. In total, the specialists obtained around 2,000 photos of the silver mouse deer showing several individuals. They have not yet been able to accurately estimate the population size. Number 4. The singing dog of New Guinea. It turns out that people have trouble finding not only tiny creatures, but also full-sized dogs. Such is the case with the New Guinea singing dog, which hasn't been seen in the wild since the 1970s. It's not hard to guess that these dogs are beloved for their unique howl, which many compare to the sounds of humpback whales. Currently, between 200 and 300 individuals captured half a century ago live in conservation centers and zoos. Specialists feared that there were no more of them left in the wild, but fortunately, their fears were unfounded. In 2016, an entire pack was found, and soon after, biological samples were taken from them to confirm the findings. Now, all that remains is to carefully study their habits and learn how to care for them. Plans include fully restoring the population. Number 5. The chameleon of Madagascar. For many, if a creature hasn't been seen in 50 years, it's incredibly rare and ancient. But there are cases in history where living beings have been rediscovered after much longer. One such case is the Malagasy chameleon. This skilled escape artist managed to avoid contact with humans since 1913. Naturally, during this time, it was classified as extinct, which turned out to be a mistake. In 2018, scientists decided to explore areas in Madagascar they hadn't previously investigated, and their expeditions soon bore fruit. In just 6 surveyed locations, they found this extremely rare species inhabiting a hotel garden in the village of Tsepi. In total, several males and more than a dozen females were found, which not only confirmed the existence of the long-lost chameleon, but also allowed for some description of it. It was discovered that females are smaller than males and change color more actively. While males remain mostly green, females sometimes take on very bright, contrasting colors. It remains to be seen what other surprises this chameleon might have in store and how widely distributed it is. The fact that it still lives is a cause for joy. Number 6. The Somali jumping shrew. Look at this cute little shrew. It looks so adorable and curious that it seems impossible for it to go unnoticed for so long. However, it wasn't always easy to find them. Everything went according to plan until, at some point, the Somali jumping shrew decided to hide from the world and didn't reappear for over 50 years. This tiny animal, both figuratively and literally, was probably constantly running away from trouble. It can run at almost 30 kilometers per h, 19 miles per hour. However, that's not the animal's main feature. You've probably already noticed its curious snout. It's with that trunk that it hunts insects. These shrews are distinguished from their relatives by a small tuft of fur on their tails. They had been elusive for a long time until, in 2020, researchers captured the first and long-awaited photograph of this creature in its natural habitat. Finding this elusive animal required the efforts of hundreds of scientists on an expedition that couldn't fail. The team observed 12 Somali shrews and came to an important conclusion. It appears these creatures are not endangered and thrive in Djibouti, Somalia, and even Ethiopia. However, it is still difficult to estimate the population size. Number 7. Unexpected encounter. This story took place in the fall of 2020. 2 friends were walking through a forest in the Indonesian province of South Kalimantan when they accidentally came across a bird they had never seen before. They decided to take some photos to research it later. After their walk, the friends visited some well-known scientists and showed the images. Now imagine the expert's face when he recognized this bird as an extremely rare species that hadn't been seen since the mid-19th century. The photos showed the black-browed mouse throat. Upon learning that these birds still inhabited the area, a group of researchers headed to the same forest with a single mission: to find and document the bird. Eventually, they managed to find 2 thamalias hiding in the thicket of a thicket near a cliff. They behaved very quietly, which is probably why they hadn't been seen in over 170 years. The group members not only photographed them, but also videotaped them. All the new information obtained will allow them to learn much more about the behavior of these birds and birds in general. Scientists plan to assess the range of these birds in the future. It's possible that the species is small and in danger of extinction, in which case it will need protection. Number 8. The lost pheasant. A similar story occurred with the lost black-necked pheasant. This bird had not been seen for nearly 140 years until 2022, when an expedition of scientists from Cornell University managed to rediscover it. The encounter was completely spontaneous, but it resulted in unique images and videos. Although this large bird with its bright plumage seems impossible to miss, virtually nothing is known about it. It likely has abilities we are still unaware of. Only time will tell. Many of us have seen animal documentaries. Next, I'll show you how they're filmed. There are many different techniques and methods for filming animals in their natural habitat, depending on the animal and the location where the filming takes place. Number 9. Close-up filming. The first technique is the simplest and at the same time one of the most difficult. It's called close-up filming. The cameraman gets as close to the animal as possible and films it without any protection. This technique allows photographers and cameramen to easily change angles, sit or lie down to get new shots, and use the camera more efficiently. This can be applied to harmless birds, as well as birds of prey, or even large birds. There are few birds in the world that can attack a person, so this approach is effective. Additionally, this method is used to film various animals that are already accustomed to people, or that don't pose a major danger to them. These are primarily various ungulates. The most unusual in terms of close-up filming are meerkats. Although these little animals are carnivores, they are very small. Instead of attacking, they often approach the cameraman, lean on the camera lens, or even climb onto the camera or the cameraman, putting on quite a spectacle. Close-up filming can be combined with camouflage. The operator is still as close to the animals as possible, but can be dressed in a sniper suit or hidden in some kind of improvised shelter that blends organically into the animal's habitat and doesn't disturb them. Number 10. Filming from an armored vehicle. However, wild animals are unpredictable, and close-up filming doesn't always work. When it comes to predators in Africa, this method can be very dangerous, and protection is needed. Although it may seem unusual, most shots of lions, leopards, hyenas, and other dangerous animals are taken from a vehicle. But this vehicle isn't just any vehicle. First, it must be all-terrain, and second, it must be armored in case of an animal attack. As for the cameras, they are usually placed outside the vehicle and set up to cover the largest possible area and provide the best quality. These cameras are controlled directly from inside the vehicle. Sometimes, filming is also done directly from the vehicle, as tourists do on safaris. To ensure the image doesn't shake, operators use stabilizers and must ensure the lighting is properly set up. Filming from an armored vehicle is great, but it's not always possible. There are places vehicles can't reach or where it would be dangerous to do so, such as the Arctic. Unlike lions in Africa, polar bears and walruses aren't accustomed to vehicles, and filming could fail. One option is to film from a great distance or use a protective cage that's set up in the required location. The cameraman enters the cage and films from there. Issue 11. Capturing animals on camera bears. Sometimes attack these cages, but this also results in even more impressive shots. The same is sometimes done in Africa to film lions from a close distance, as naturally as possible. In these cases, predators can approach the cage or the camera on their own, allowing for fascinating scenes to be captured. Number 12. Placing cameras on site. Another, and safer, option is to simply place the cameras in the appropriate location and wait. After a day or two, the operators return, collect the cameras, and review the recorded footage. The advantage of this method is that the animal's more natural behavior can be observed, as they are undisturbed by the presence of humans and have no idea they are being filmed. Fortunately, we live in the age of modern technology, so film crews don't necessarily have to risk their lives or spend hours setting up cameras in the wild. They can use robots. Many modern documentary films about animals are made with the help of these devices. Number 13. Big cats as videographers. Sometimes, animals manage without human help. Big cats, being very curious creatures, may steal a camera hidden in the undergrowth and begin filming their own video blog about life in the wild. Editors sometimes leave these images and insert them into documentaries. The same technique can be used to capture the life of aquatic or semi-aquatic creatures. The principle is the same. Place a camera on a harmless fish or even a shark, track it, and wait for it to return with unique images. Number 14. Drones. Drones are an indispensable part of many documentaries. All those high-altitude shots, long shots, and sweeping views of huge herds of animals are filmed with drones. Previously, these images were captured with helicopters, in which the film crew would ride. Although this is still done occasionally, helicopters are very noisy and not ideal for filming because they scare the animals and often ruin the footage. Drones are relatively quiet and small, so animals barely notice them, allowing for very interesting and beautiful images of land animals and birds. But what about underwater filming? There are documentaries about whales, sharks, and unusual fish. How are they made? Just as you might think, they're filmed by people. A film crew member dons a wetsuit, takes a camera, and dives into the water to film the local flora and fauna. If the marine or river creatures are safe, the diver-operator doesn't need assistance. However, if the filming involves dangerous predators, help from above may be necessary to scare off any threats in case of an emergency. Furthermore, protective cages can also be used for underwater filming. As you've already seen how operators film bears and lions up close while sitting in cages, the principle here is the same. These cages are usually used by ordinary divers who want to experience new thrills and see dangerous marine animals up close, but they can also be used by operators with professional cameras. Number 15. Leopards and porcupines. It would seem that the outcome of this confrontation is obvious: a ferocious leopard versus a small rodent. However, the porcupine has an ace up its sleeve: its sharp quills. In this video, the leopard can be seen licking itself in the middle of the road while the porcupine watches. Tensions rise. The leopard becomes enraged and begins to stalk. The porcupine hisses, and the predator repeatedly strikes it with its paw. The confrontation ends when one of the quills digs into the leopard's paw. The big cat stops chasing its prey and licks its wound, while the porcupine walks away triumphantly. Porcupine quills are powerful weapons that can repel even the most dangerous predators, including lions. Number 16. Cats and bears. Here, the situation seems even more obvious. Can a small house cat take on a bear? Yes, it can. In this video, a bear enters a house's yard. A dog can be heard barking in the background, but it's the brave cat that charges at the bear first and scares it away in a matter of seconds. Don't think it was a fluke. Check out this other video. A cat scared a bear so much that it climbed a tree to save itself. In another recording, a cat on the porch wouldn't let the bear get close, scared it with its voice, and then threatened it with a swipe of its paw, forcing the bear to retreat. Number 17. Cats and tigers. This is a kind of family reunion. A cat meets its older, larger relatives, the tigers. It's alone in an enclosure with two tigers. Although all of these animals belong to the cat family, this doesn't mean a tiger is safe for a cat. The striped giant could crush the small feline in seconds, but the cat won't let it get close and chases it away. The expression on the tiger's face at the end of the video is priceless. It's completely shocked. In another safer situation, a tiger is in a cage and a cat is watching it. The tiger tries to sniff the cat and get to know it, but the small feline isn't in the mood. It roughly punches it in the nose, and the tiger is shocked again. Number 18. Cats and chickens. It seems like domestic cats don't fear anyone, but that's not true. They can be controlled by chickens. In this video, a cat attacks a chicken, but another chicken quickly arrives and scares it away. The cat retreats only to attack again later. After waiting for the right moment, the predator attacks again, but the chicken repels it once more, and this time the cat retreats for good. That's how powerful these chickens are. Roosters are no less brave. These birds, although small and not very intelligent, know how to defend themselves. In this video, a rooster approaches a horse, which kicks it hard, scattering feathers everywhere. The horse probably thought the matter was over, but it was wrong. The outraged rooster began to retaliate, stinging the horse under its feet and pecking at its legs. The horse could do nothing but endure the blows. I wonder how long this lasted. Number 19. Horses and turtles. Are horses as powerful as we think? Maybe not. In this video, a horse faces off against a simple tortoise, but only the horse thinks so. The tortoise, as always, is in no hurry and waits for the right moment. Suddenly, it unfolds and scares the horse, forcing it to flee. On the second attempt, the horse approaches the tortoise again, but this time the tortoise acts more decisively. It unfolds quickly, bites the horse, and the horse has to escape as quickly as possible from this small threat. Number 20. Jaguars and alligators. These two dangerous predators are eternal enemies in their South American habitat. Typically, the jaguar, a large and agile cat, is stronger and faster than the caiman. Attacking from an ambush, the jaguar usually gives the caiman no chance to escape. In this video, we see another such attack. The jaguar cautiously approaches the caiman from behind and bites it on the tail. The caiman doesn't even resist, and the jaguar begins to drag it away. But this turned out to be a diversionary maneuver. The reptile quickly turns around, bites the jaguar, and forcefully throws it into the pond. The big cat will have to find another meal. Number 21. Hyenas and donkeys. Who would you bet on in this fight? Many of you would probably choose the hyena without thinking twice. After all, it's a carnivorous animal with very powerful jaws, great aggression, and ferocity. And the donkey? Well, it walks through the field and carries heavy objects. But this concept is wrong. Watch how this donkey overpowers the hyena. It doesn't give it a chance. It grabs it by the ear, gets on top of it, and starts lifting and lowering it. If you've ever had your ears pulled on your birthday, you can imagine how painful it is for the hyena. It couldn't bite the donkey or stand up to it in any way. This is a total victory for the hooved animal. Number 22. Donkey and camel donkeys can harm not only hyenas, but also humans. An enraged donkey can easily crack a person's skull with a kick, so it's not a good idea to anger these animals. However, there's always a contender for everyone. In this case, the donkey's contender is a camel. In this video, the donkey was the one who first provoked the camel, approaching it and harassing it. At first, the camel only opened its mouth threateningly, but eventually it bit the donkey, knocked it to the ground, and held it there for a few seconds. Then it released its aggressor. As you can see, the donkey was injured and limped away. This is what happens to aggressors. Number 23. Tiger and bear. Tigers and bears are two super predators. The tiger is one of the few animals that can stand up to a bear, and the same can be said of a bear and a tiger. How will this fight unfold? In this video, the tiger approaches the bear and clearly tries to provoke it. At first, the bear endures and simply walks away, but soon its nerves fray. It stands on its hind legs and scares the striped tiger away without using force. But that's not always the case. In another case, the provocations led to a full-blown fight. The tiger dominated the bear on the ground, but soon grew tired. The bear got up and scared the cat away. In both cases, the tigers were facing sloth bears, which aren't as large as brown or polar bears, but are much more aggressive and dangerous. Number 24. Dog and kangaroo. This curious dog tried to investigate a kangaroo in a pond, but the marsupial thought the dog posed a danger. What seemed like a normal situation almost ended in tragedy. The kangaroo began hitting the dog and even tried to drown it. Luckily, the dog managed to free itself and get out of the water, eventually barking contemptuously at its attacker. Number 25. Lion and buffalo. Here we have a typical African situation. Two hungry lionesses stalk a buffalo and decide to make it their dinner. Although the buffalo is much larger than the lionesses, it can't resist them, and it's also stuck in some kind of mud, which is detrimental given its mass. It seemed as if the lionesses would soon dispose of the African buffalo, but then its companions arrived to help it. One buffalo charged a lioness from behind, and its companions scared the second lioness off. The victim was saved. Don't think that buffalo are weaklings who always need a team to face predators. A buffalo can fend for itself. In this video, a buffalo surrounded by a pride of lionesses defends itself. The lionesses bit and attacked it in every way possible, but they chose the wrong animal. The buffalo couldn't stand it and threw one of the lionesses into the air. The video cuts out, but according to the author, the buffalo managed to free itself from the lionesses and survived. Number 26. Dog and Bull. In another recording, a dog faced a bull in an arena. Perhaps he thought he was invincible because he approached the bull and bit him in a very sensitive spot. Naturally, the herbivore flew into a rage and sent the dog flying several meters. It was a shocking scene, but don't worry, the dog got up and left the arena, reflecting on his action. Number 28. Cheetahs and wild boars. Cheetahs are the fastest land animals in the world, and they develop their impressive speed from a young age. This young cheetah decided to practice with an African warthog. It seemed like the warthog didn't stand a chance, but the cheetah didn't think twice. The warthog's parents were nearby and rushed to save their cub. Now it was the cheetah who had to flee at full speed. It's not something you see every day. Number 29. Tiger and duckback to the tigers. Maybe this predator will win this time. Well, no. In this video, a tiger faces off against a duck, although it seems more like the duck is mocking the poor cat. Every time the tiger tries to catch the duck, it dives and reappears elsewhere, and this isn't the only case. In another video, we see the same thing. A duck is thrown into a pond from a vehicle, and the tigers rush after it. They probably thought they had gotten an easy kill, but that wasn't the case. The duck, like its predecessor, maneuvers skillfully. Number 30. Naughty monkeys. These cunning and agile creatures not only use their dexterity to get food or move through the trees, but also to annoy dangerous predators. This monkey managed to do just that. She climbed onto a branch, hung from it, and began showing the tigers they couldn't reach her. As if that weren't enough, she also hit the cats on the head and even pulled their ears. Yes, the tigers were out of luck in this selection of videos, and that's it. Write in the comments which of these animal battles impressed you the most. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more intriguing and exciting content. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next adventure.